This is another important tropical rainforest lesson that goes back to year 9. So this is an area you're much weaker on. So please spend a lot of time on this lesson. So how do we manage rainforest, protecting them in a sustainable way, especially from deforestation? Make sure you remember the word sustainable. It's obviously not just about helping the environment, but it's also about helping people's needs. I'm not going to go over all of the methods of sustainable ideas, but the first one's pretty obvious: ecotourism. Now, tourism, in other words, letting people come over to kind of like rainforest to enjoy the natural wonders. How does that help protect the rainforest? Well, actually, think about it. Even these homes that people come and stay in, they are very sustainable. They're made out of, let's say, sustainable trees. You could talk about sustainability in the sense as though when people come and visit and they spend that money goes back. As you can see, the money from ecotourism is also used to help protect the rainforest. For example, the money that they've paid, a lot of it would go towards kind of helping programs that will reduce deforestation, which obviously protects many animals. Another sustainable way you can talk about ecotourism is jobs. The fact that people come and visit, that obviously creates huge amount of jobs, allowing many locals who are probably poor to earn an income. Also about ecotourism, you could mention, as you can see in this eco lodge, yes, it creates lots of jobs for locals, but actually these visitors are also educated. So talk about education as part of ecotourism as well, because they are also taught how to protect the rainforest and the importance of, let's say, certain species. Another method that is really cool in protecting rainforests in a sustainable way, so we don't lose them forever. As you can see in this photo, look at these men, what they're doing. They're measuring the tree, they're putting a mark on it. They are obviously going to cut it down, but in a sustainable way. So you need to know this method. This specific tree has been selected. So they're not chopping down random trees, they're picking these trees. So you could talk about this. I'll give you the method name in a bit. So it will be now marked and they've got licenses to do this. So this is, at least they're doing this properly. And these trees will have an arrow, so they'll know which way it's falling. And they put this arrow because they want to drop it in a way where it doesn't really harm other trees. So this is done properly. This is known as selective logging and replanting. So let's look into a bit more. This process, obviously about selective logging, they're selectively picking specific trees to be chopped down. For example, let's say your much more older trees. Now, it's not all of the trees. Now, when they chop down a few trees, they have a process and a system of replanting it as soon as possible. So that way, you must mention that not all of the rainforests are cut down and it protects biodiversity. This bottom part, obviously, 6 months later after they've chopped it down, they do a survey if they see everything was done legally. Now, but within 5 years, they'll replant a lot of these trees. Now, again, how would I link it back? Not all habitats are wiped out, and that preserves biodiversity. Make sure you mention that. If you wanted to evaluate something, you could argue that despite laws, there's a lot of illegal deforestation still taking place, and it doesn't really apply in these remote rainforests where people can easily do without being caught. Go through one last method and I'll do a part 2 of this video because there's a few more methods left, which is international hardwood agreements. You've seen these as 2 markers. Now, what is this agreement? It's similar to the Paris Agreement. Essentially, these countries, about 70 countries, came together. They signed on a deal where actually certain trees cannot be chopped down unless it's a proper provider. For example, mahogany trees, which are quite rare. If you sign this agreement, we will hopefully protect certain trees, like much more rare trees. And that obviously helps millions of species and plants. That's the sustainability link if you link it back. So obviously there's a massive demand for them, but we want to protect them. And this agreement does that for you.